Hello folks, Dave Shoki here in Salt Lake City, performing a rain leak detection for windows and decks and garage and ceiling, so come on in. All right, so here we are in the garage area, and you can see that massive amounts of previous leak damage here, and the water actually travels across this area to right there where those stains are. So that's what we're on the hunt for right now. So we're going to allow this water at the lowest point for a good 20 to 30 minutes and identify if it's the lower part of the deck, and then again work our way up. All right folks, so the first leak is right here directly above the garage where water's been saturating. As you can see, there's multiple suspect areas: stucco, the wood trim, the door, and the patio area here. But you can see that they applied this artificial grass directly on top of this entire patio. One of the things to consider when you're doing that is you're holding all that water weight onto your deck, and depending on what type of substrates you have, it could compromise eventually. So you may want to stay away from a artificial grass application. I know it looks great, but long term, not a good idea if you want to keep your deck in a good state. All right, so here we're going to go ahead now and focus on finding the leak. We're going to start at the lowest point and then work our way up. Go ahead and run water at this lowest point right here. And what we're going to do is we're going to kind of create a light rain and see what the absorption is and how it's exiting this patio area here. As you can see here, we've got a buried drain. Again, we still got some snow here, this area here at this corner. So what we're going to do is watch and see how this water migrates and also identify if there's leaks. All right folks, we're not even like 7 minutes into the leak detection, but you could see how much standing water this grass, artificial grass, is creating here. There's no flow whatsoever to that drain. That's a major problem. All right folks, so we were able to rule out that the decking material is actually in really good shape. It's not leaking. Still, professional opinion, you shouldn't have any holding water up here. It should be draining, but it's not leaking. What we found was these cracks in the wood here are absorbing water and then going down into the garage. So this here is the breach that's allowing water to get in. You've also got some screws here that are probably anchored right into the stucco. This needs to get cleaned up because what's happening is water's getting in here, getting behind this flashing right here. As you can see, we're getting the water rolling off of that flashing. That's isolating that suspect area down here. So let's continue here. All right, folks, so you can see how much water is coming down from that stucco area. All right, folks, so now that we've determined that the leak is here, what we're going to do is offer some protection using the Flex Seal. Just going to seal this up. Just in the event a rain does come, it's going to protect the inside, like it as a temporary fix. All right, folks, so let's go ahead now and go to upstairs family room. All right, as you can see, we've built our zipper door sealed containment. And what this does is it just protects dust, but more importantly, if there's any mold inside this area here that we're going to open up. We're not going to be cross-contaminating into the living area, especially with kids. So we're ready to open up here. All right, folks, this is a up-close look at what we're dealing with. You can see that a little bit of moisture there. All right, as we pull this insulation back, you can see the amount of moisture that's in here. So, again, another good reason to open up your walls is to get rid of this type of material, because it'll never dry out unless you expose and remove and discard this type of material. All right, so this is the stucco that's leaking inside that containment there. So 6 mil plastic and Gorilla Tape is another thing to consider when you find stucco breaches and you want to make sure that you're protected. 6 mil and Gorilla Tape works perfect. Okay, we ran water and obviously pushed it into the lowest point, which is that gap right there between the stucco and the attempted sealant that was applied. It took about 3.5 minutes, and then it started leaking inside the window area, exactly where the water had been dripping from previous rains. All right, folks, well, there you have it. Hopefully this helped give you some insight on rain leak detection here in Salt Lake City. As always, thanks for watching.